Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Glad to have you here on this Sunday show. These are the Cabral HouseCalls every single weekend answering our community's questions. And I think by now, hopefully you've been listening to the show for some time. You know, on the weekends, we try to get to 10 to 12 of our community's questions. Some of them are just longer, and I never stop myself at saying I can only say so much. So whatever I can give you as a place to get started, then I feel comfortable letting the question then go. Because I don't want it to be, as I always say, a diagnosis, a complete consultation. It's not meant to be that. That's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to give you hopefully a qualified second opinion as to someone that you know has no bias whatsoever in this industry. All I want to do is help people get well. I help them get well through essentially 3 phases. It's the de-stress protocol, but even before implementing the de-stress protocol, ideally you're at home lab testing, then you're beginning your own bio-individualized diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, and success mindset. All right, that's the protocol. And then hey, let's not relapse, right? Because I relapsed so many times over 10 years trying to get well. So then here's a plan based on the same de-stress protocol, diet, exercise, stress reduction, but you can typically be far more lenient. So that's what I want to share with people. And this is the best way that I know how to try to reach as many people as possible. So again, I appreciate your support of the Cabral Concept. If you haven't reviewed the show yet or rated the show on your favorite podcast player, I would love for you to do that. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Brand new episodes coming on a daily basis. All right, this is episode 299. If you want to follow along with the questions, head on over to stephencabral.com/2599. All right, let's get started. Deborah is up next. Deborah says, hello, love your podcast. I've been listening for years. You're a wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Deborah. I have a fertility-related questions. I have Hashimoto's, and I have had many early miscarriages. I do have 4 children with healthy and easy pregnancies once established. Is there any support or prescriptions that would help with implementation in the case of autoimmune conditions? Do you recommend to forgo coffee when TTC, I'm assuming TTC means trying to conceive, but I honestly, I don't know if that's correct. I just hope that it is. I drink 1 cup of organic in the AM. This one is a little weird, but just want your thought. Will taking my daily proteolytic enzyme affect sperm when trying to conceive? And should I only do it early in my cycle? Thanks so much for your insight. Okay, I get it. I understand. So the number one reason that we've seen in our practice for, we'll say, poor implementation, meaning like, okay, pregnancy occurs, but it just doesn't, like, for whatever reason, it doesn't make it to that first 10 days of gestation, we'll call it, or 12 weeks through the first trimester, which of course would end up being a miscarriage. But it all comes down to, for us, higher levels of cortisol and lower levels of progesterone. So again, I can't give you any medical advice, medical diagnosis, medical cures, or medical treatment plans for anybody on this podcast. But we have women either use daily progesterone support, an herbal supplement, also calming the adrenals with magnesium and biofeedback, and of course the de-stress protocol, right? Calming the body, absolutely essential. Or you can speak with your OB about progesterone supplementation. And so you're welcome to do any of those. And typically it's done through the first 12 weeks. So for the first trimester, you need to make sure those progesterone levels are supported. All right, that's the first spot. The second is, should you forgo coffee? Well, many people with Hashimoto's actually have a sensitivity to coffee, and they do so much better when they remove coffee from their diet. It actually affects their autoimmune issues. So ideally, because I don't know your cortisol levels, so I don't know if it's affecting you. I don't know your blood sugar, so I don't know if it's affecting you, right? So if you can, switch to decaf, because caffeine's not great during pregnancy in the first place. So organic decaf would be a better option, or switch over to something else. And then the last one is a little weird, but will taking daily proteolytic enzymes affect sperm count when trying to conceive? Will affect sperm? No, it should not affect sperm. If you were a male and you're taking daily proteolytic enzymes, it still wouldn't, because it's not going to affect sperm. So no, you should be all set there. But let me say this, but you should not take daily proteolytic enzymes when you have conceived. So no, you should not be taking daily proteolytic enzymes when you have conceived. That would be a no. All right, hopefully that's helpful. Eric's up next. I have a question regarding infrared sauna. I know it's very healing, but when trying to TTC, it must be the same. It must be the same family. But when trying to conceive, should I refrain from it? And also, should my wife, or could she do it only the first half of her cycle before ovulation? Thanks so much for your dedication to all things wellness. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so two things. If you have not conceived, I have no problem with sauna or infrared sauna. After conceiving, I do not recommend sauna. Or while trying to conceive, actively trying to conceive, no. Like if there's a chance that you could get pregnant, no, I don't recommend sauna. And the reason is you don't want to heat up core body temperature or begin the detox process. But really the most important time to not do sauna is after conceiving. Once you know that you're pregnant, yeah, you stop sauna. Okay. So, and then for male, well, you don't want to heat up your body too much to the point where you could reduce sperm count or reduce sperm count quality. So it's like not a lot of exercise time on the bike. Like these things do matter. Do they matter for all men? No, of course not. They don't. Only some men. But if you're having difficulty conceiving right now, you want to look at everything. So if there's prostate inflammation or inflammation in the testes affecting the sperm, yeah, you'd want to look at that. And so that would matter. Again, in the sauna, could you just sit on a couple towels and you're not feeling as hot? Yeah, you absolutely could. And so I wouldn't worry about it unless it's actually an issue. I don't see it an issue for most people, and it can actually be quite healing for both men and women. So, I would keep on keeping on until it's an issue or until you do conceive for women. Okay. Corey's up next. Hello, love your podcast, so informative, and I feel like I'm learning and growing so much just from listening. Thanks, Corey. I'm glad to hear that. Life-changing information here. I've been on birth control, the Nexoplanin arm implant, or Nexplanin, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, for 8 years now due to heavy periods and needing iron infusions because they were so heavy for 6 to 7 days. I went off of it for about a year and gained 30 pounds around the stomach and thighs and upper arms. I try hard to lose it, but it doesn't budge, and I ended up with extremely low ferritin levels. So my doctor put me back on it. I wanted to come off birth control due to what I know about it, but where do I start? Thank you for all you do. Yeah, I think, Corey, I actually have a whole podcast on coming off birth control. So I would definitely check that out. And you can just ask, hey, what's Dr. Cabral's podcast on coming off birth control? You just ask that at cabralsupportgroup.com. All right, so, but I want to give you a place to get started. What you need to do, because honestly, there's no other way. Like I could just give you a protocol that kind of works, like not kind of works, but works for like 56% of women, but I don't know if you're part of the 50 or 60%. I might need to tweak it for you, right? So that's why we do the at-home lab testing. There's only one lab to run that you really need to run. There's the Big Five. I would love for you to run the Big Five because you're going to get the most data. But if you can only run one, you run the stress, mood, and metabolism. When do you do that? When you come off birth control. So you came off birth control previous. I know that you're back on it now, but you came off it before and you gained 30 pounds, mainly around your stomach, your thighs, and upper arms. All right. When I see women gaining weight in those areas, I'm thinking high levels of estrogen or imbalanced estrogen and potentially higher levels of cortisol. We can fix that, right? You can fix that. It's not us, it's your body, right? So we're giving you the plan, you're implementing the plan, we can fix that. So ultimately, that's what we need to do. The heavier periods, menstrual cycles may actually be from, you might already move and swing towards higher levels of estrogen in the first place. So we need to work on that. So when you do decide to come off birth control, your choice, well, I'm not telling you to do that. When you do decide, after about a month or so, you will run the stress, mood, and metabolism test, and then we will work on balancing your body naturally. All right? So that's what we do. Erica's up next. Erica says, hi, Dr. Ball. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on what could be the root of my symptoms. I've had dizziness for about 3 to 4 years now, and it's very consistent almost every day. However, it hasn't gotten worse. It's stayed very consistent over this time. It seems to be worse around the time of my period and also when under stress. In addition, I have a lot of popping in both of my ears, and sometimes my ears feel itchy and almost like my eustachian tubes have to release pressure. I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor who said I might have eustachian tube dysfunction. By the way, that's not a real thing. So again, it's just, oh, you have thyroid dysfunction. Oh, well, what does that mean? Well, it's like, you just put names on, oh, you have irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, you just told me I have irritable bowels. I know, I get it, right? Like, that's why I came to you, but now you just told me I have IBS. It doesn't make you feel any better. Well, some people it does. It's like, okay, I have a diagnosis, but it doesn't help, right? So they ruled out any fluid in the ears or other issues. Okay, that's important to look at that. You want to look at fluid in the ears. You want to look at crystals in the ears building up, and you want to look at inflammation and narrowing of the passages. Okay, so they looked at that. Great. I've also tried the maneuver for crystals. Oh, great, I've talked about that in the past too. In my ears, which didn't seem to have any effect either. Any thoughts on things I could try? Dizziness got worse when I took antibiotics 3 to 4 years ago. Well, there we go. That's the big tip. There's most likely some type of gut-based issue, which when you, leading to inflammation, your ears are your Achilles heel, like my eyes are my Achilles heel, right? And when you've tipped, when you overflow the rain barrel due to stress, you end up with these symptoms. So this is not dissimilar to something like someone would get from POTS, or they would get from heavy metals or anything like that. Like, there's an underlying root cause, and stress is the trigger that sets it off. 100%. Like, Erica, if you can, I know there's an investment. I understand that. Every once in a while, I know we're doing it during March. I don't even know the date that this show is coming out. But every March, we offer the Big 5 labs for $1,000 off. If that time hasn't already passed, I would definitely take advantage of it. If not, it's a few $100s more during the rest of the year. Because typically we offer $500 off anyways. That's the discount. If you buy all labs individually, I think it's $2,000 or $2,100, but it's typically throughout the year, we're offering it between $9.95 and $14.95, somewhere around there. It is a phenomenal deal. It comes with a 90-minute consultation, either with the EqualLife team, or typically IHPs will include a 60-minute to 90-minute consultation if you're doing it with one of our IHP level 2s that you can find at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. I can't recommend this enough. Why? Okay, you might have high omega-6s to omega-3s. I got dizziness. If you look back in the podcast and you look at, if you search dizziness or vertigo, I talk about my story. I had random vertigo. I couldn't figure it out. And it ended up being, believe it or not, the strangest thing. I was sensitive to a new coconut milk that I was using. The strangest thing. I figured it out. It took me a long time. I went through all things you did. I went to chiropractic. I started doing the crystal-based maneuvers for the ears. I was doing everything. Turned out to be coconut milk. And so I just want to share that with you because you don't know what it is, right? We don't know what it is. We need to work the process. Omega-6s, food sensitivities, high levels of cortisol, like all these different things. And so that's what I would do. Heavy metals, high levels of aluminum, high levels of mercury can do this. So that's what I would look at. All right, Erica, thanks for writing in. And by the way, all the labs are at stephencabral.com/shop. Just click on the labs tab and you'll find everything that you could need right there. All right, let's get to another question. This one's from Jen. Jen says, hi, Dr. Ball. I recently had some blood tests on 11/29/22, and my AST was 126 and my ALT was 218. All right, for anybody who doesn't know what AST and ALT is, those are liver enzyme markers. When they're elevated, it means that something is going on with the liver. They ran iron, hepatitis, all negative. So basically, we look for hemochromatosis, high levels of iron, and they looked at hepatitis too. Hepatitis, different varying forms of hepatitis can affect the liver, like hep C, all negative. Ultrasound of my liver showed only a small amount of fatty liver. I retested on 110, and now my AST is 149. All right, so that went up by 23 points, and the ALT is 244. So that went up by like almost 30 points. Okay. It says I've taken kratom and my levoscoliosis, but only sparingly 2 to 4 tabs once in a while. I don't even know what levos for my levo. Got it, for scoliosis. Okay, understood. So your pain, I'm sure. Every once in a while, my back is really bad. Okay, got it. Yeah, scoliosis. I don't want to have to take pharma pills to manage my back pain. She had me stay off the kratom, or kratom, some people pronounce it, before I retested. I don't drink, nor do I do any drugs. I don't vape nicotine. And in September, I had a copper IUD implanted. So I'm wondering if any of these things could be the culprit, or what could be causing my enzymes to be this high, and what I can do to bring them down. Okay. So again, we're getting into medical diagnosis and treatment plans. I can't give you any medical treatment plans. What I would do if it was me, I would look at what's going on. Am I drinking energy drinks with fructose in them? You're not consuming alcohol, which is good. You're not using any pharmaceuticals where you were using kratom that could absolutely be affecting it. You vape nicotine, that could absolutely be it, because there are chemicals in vapes. Vape is one of the worst things that you can do. Like literally vaping is one of the worst things that you can do. And that is because there are chemicals, solvents in those oils that you are directly breathing in. It could be from that. Copper IUD, I typically don't see it with copper IUDs. I just want to be honest with you. However you feel about copper IUDs is neither here nor there. I don't typically see it with that, just to be honest with you. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, but I don't typically see it. I always look for, what does the liver have to filter? Cannabis, alcohol, nicotine, vaping, because we're now talking about solvents and oils, kratom, in this particular case. Could be yours. You're not taking anything for scoliosis. You were doing the kratom for that. So I'm always looking at even supplements, like what could I be using that's causing this? And I would, again, you have to look at coming off of those and then retesting again. Because there is some variable going on right now. If there isn't anything actually wrong with the liver, of what the liver is filtering for these enzymes to be this high. All right, really important that we look at that. Because I could say, yes, do a 21-day functional medicine detox, then wait 3 or 4 weeks and run your labs again. But honestly, that's fine to do. But I want to look at what's causing those enzymes to be elevated, not just do a detox, right? So I want you to look at why they're elevated. That's really important. All right, we are going to keep it at that for today. Those were, I think, 5 excellent questions. We've got more every single weekend. So again, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for being a part of this community. I love answering your questions. I truly do. And I'll be back tomorrow on our Mindset and Motivation Monday show. The best way to start the week. Take care, everybody. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.